One of the hardest things that comes with being a therapist and comes with being a professor of psychology is that people think you have your stuff together. People think you are well rounded, people think that you have all the strategies in the world, and people just automatically assume, look at Mary, she's got it, she can handle it, all that stuff. But the funny thing is, I don't. I don't have my stuff together. Um, I'm just as vulnerable as everyone else. I um, I do teach my students how to use different strategies. I do talk to clients about, hey, like these are excellent coping mechanisms and these are excellent coping skills and whatnot. Do I use them? Absolutely. Do I believe in them? 100%. The problem is, I don't take enough time for self care. And when you're taking care of everyone else, it's so very difficult to take care of yourself. And self care is so very important. I remember being in grad school, and there was this whole workbook we had to do that was called Caring for the Caregiver. And I remember laughing. I mean, I was so naive and so just young and impressionable in grad school, the age of 22, 23, um, back when life was actually pretty easy. And it was like, my goodness, why are they giving us this book? And it said, like, you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. And I was like, oh, please. Like, I have enough energy to take care of the world. Like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Like, who needs to take care of themselves? And then at the age of, I guess, about 27, I became a therapist. And I will never forget, that was like really eye opening for me. And I loved every single second of it. I had started off as a school counselor and realized like they weren't letting me be a therapist. They were just more paper pushing, more parents complaining than anything. So I just got out of that field, moved into being a therapist. And within a year, I became a teacher of psychology as well, and realized these were the two fields I absolutely loved. And I had enough stamina and energy to go for a couple years, but I also during this time started having children. And I realized I was being pulled in this direction, mommy, 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 my husband, hey, wife, this direction. And then my clients were pulling me in this direction, saying they needed me. And then my students, whom I love dearly, they also were pulling me in a different direction because I would open myself to them and say, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And they didn't abuse that at all. But, I became available. And after several years, about even 10, I mean, I did make it pretty far, but my mental health just started to decline. Now, part of it is because my children, uh, their medical health, their health just in general just went, and um, it's really hard raising sick kids. Nobody realizes it. Like if you have kids and you're like, oh my gosh, they get a cold, like they had a fever of 102. I sit here and I go, and I really do try not to say like, that's nothing. because I know to you that's a lot. But to me, I'm sitting here going, and, but in reality, I know that's a lot to you because you haven't been through what I've been through, and well, I've been through what you've been through with a fever, but I haven't been through what some families have been through with their medical problems. So in reality, I hope you never have to go through what I've been through. But I've been through a lot. My family's been through a lot. And we just keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed to the limit. But we keep fighting. But there comes a time where if you don't take care of yourself, you can't keep fighting. And that's why my girls are now 13 and 10. And my 10-year-old, she, over the past several months, just got hit with this serious, massive load of medical issues. And you go to one doctor and they're like, okay, we'll take care of you, but you need to see this specialist. And the next specialist says, okay, we'll take care of you as well, but you also need to see this specialist and this specialist. It's been like 3 doctor's appointments a week for the past several months. And I keep my head held high and I keep doing this. And then the other day, I'm sitting there on the phone with this one doctor, and I will never forget this phone conversation. This doctor, it was not even a doctor, it was, I guess, a secretary of her administrative assistant. She says, well, have you talked to her pediatrician? Excuse me, her pediatrician. Her pediatrician doesn't even administer her flu shot because her flu shot gets done at CVS. But her pediatrician barely knows her because she does a healthy check once a year. What's a healthy check? My kid's not healthy. But we go to her once a year. My pediatrician doesn't even know my kids. We see a specialist for pretty much every single body part. Why would we see a pediatrician? Okay. And I didn't look at her. I was on the phone. I just looked at myself because I was looking out the window, and I said, no, we don't see the pediatrician except once a year. That's why we're coming to you, to diagnostics. And so anyway, she ends up going to talk to her team. In the meantime, I run upstairs and I just put my head in a pillow and I just scream, and then I just bawl, start crying, and I end up in the fetal position. And I send a text to my husband, who I just say, are you free? He's a teacher. And he calls me right away, and I'm like, and he's like, I can't understand you. And I'm like, and then my daughter, my oldest daughter, she comes in and she sees me basically convulsing in the fetal position, and she's rubbing my back. And at this time, DuPont calls me, Nemours Children's Hospital, and the nurse calls me back, and she's like, okay, calm down. How are you doing? And I was like, I'm not good. And it was probably the first time I was honest with somebody. It was the first time I admitted I'm not good. I need help. And she said, I'm going to give you that help. And I went, okay. Because I don't put anything out on social media about my kids or about us needing help. If anybody says, oh, Mary, do you need anything? No, we're good. But do you need anything? Because I'll give you something. That's who I am. That's who we are as a family. We're there for you, but you don't need to be there for us because we're okay. Well, guess what? We're not. And it's the first time I admitted it. I need help. Now, if you ask my husband, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. But me, mentally, I realize, I can't do this alone. My husband has been an amazing support system. My in-laws have been 100% amazing. But yeah, I'm realizing I need help. And that's what this video blog is for. I I want others to know that if you need help, you're not alone. And it's okay to ask for help. And the moment I said to that nurse, I'm not good, I went, okay, like it's time to move forward. It's time to take that next step. And that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the next step.